would you mind sharing maybe a few aha moments along the way that you could share with us and say, hey, this was a changing point, or like, I can't do this, or your wife looking at you, we cannot do this. And then what happened after that? What changed?
So this was actually kind of recent. It was about 4 or 5 months ago when I thought we were doing good. And I thought we had really set, my wife and I are good, the kids are good. And I went to get coffee with a friend of mine, who's a pastor, lives right down the road from me, but is in secular ministry right now. Mm-hmm. Well, secular ministry. You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So we're getting coffee, and it's technically my day off, Friday. And we try and guard those a lot. And so we're talking, and he goes, yeah, what are the plans for the rest of your day? And I said, well, I actually have 2 calls with students.
We're good. Sorry.
No problem. So I said, I actually have 2 calls with students today where, 30-minute calls, just little ones. I couldn't get them any other time this week, yada, yada, yada. And he called me on it. And he goes, well, is it your day off or is it not? And I said, yeah, but it's during the kids' nap time. So
you only have so many of those.
You're like bargaining that, yeah.
And he goes, yeah, but are you supposed to be hanging out with Shauna? I was like, yeah, but I told her. And so we cleared it. She's not mad at me. And he goes,
because that's the goal.
We're never mad before the event. We're only get mad after the event. Have you not learned this? I'm always great with everything beforehand. Then afterwards, I'm like, oh, because it.
Anyway, this is Aaron's story.
I know, this is your story.
It's when the octave goes up, you're in danger. When they're like, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. You're like, oh, God. I'm in trouble. And Shauna was being gracious and generous to let me have the calls. And he goes, well, Aaron, either you value it or you don't. And he made it very black and white. And I'm not a black and white guy. I like to live in the gray areas. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, no, see, what you don't understand is this. And then he gave me a line that I started, I'll be honest, it broke my heart and I started to cry. He goes, Aaron, intentions don't mean squat. And he used a different word than squat, but he goes, intentions don't mean squat.
Right.
And unintended hurt is still hurt. And he goes, how many unintended things have you let slip because you said to yourself deep down, well, my intentions are good.
Wow.
And that was your justification. And so then I went home and I told Shauna what he had said, and she's shaking her head like, amen in the preacher, And I said, I'm sorry, Shauna, I'm sorry. And I repented to my wife. And it was one of the most spiritual moments we had in a long time, where I repented to Shauna and said, I'm so sorry for the unintended things. And if I've gotten lost a little bit. And the thing is, I don't think there was any sin involved. I don't think I was at the point of stress. I had done all the right measurable things, but there are unintended things that I think add up. And then I called my team. I have 3 at the time. I had 3 people working with me, and 2 out of the 3 of them cried with me on the phone and said, "Thank you for calling." And I realized at that moment there was a lot of times where I was unintentionally hurting my team, but that's still my responsibility. Unintended hurt is still my responsibility, and so that's kind of the hardest lesson that I've had to learn. And I think it's something I'm going to have to keep coming back to, because I can get focused on the job very quickly. And I really have to take a step back and make that a priority.